I do not have a lot of energy, and this is not a fun conversation to have to begin with, especially after I've already covered Blizzard on a previous video over a completely different incident. But that one was a little less personal and a little more political. This one is kind of heinous, honestly, to the point where I feel kind of weird attaching the fan art section to this one, but we're going to do it anyway because I'm sure that people will understand. So, with that said, we have a piece from Creative Realms. They said they're trying to get more creative as an artist and post their work, so they're attempting some fan art. And honestly, I am a huge fan of Metroid, so I don't mind seeing Suris Samus fan art. It makes me happy. Though this looks... The way this looks almost like this is Dark Samus. Almost. And then also, from Cat, we have... That is not the thing I'm supposed to be looking at. From Cat, we have Girlfriend Suris, a Friday Night Funkin'-inspired one. They wanted to get some practice working in puppet animation, so they made a Suris GF GIF. So, those of you who are watching this probably already noticed that it's I have gotten their permission to have this just as like a little bauble on the desk over here, and that's pretty much been there for a while now. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. I truly, truly, and greatly appreciate every single one of you. If you want to submit fan art, the best way to do so is by dropping it into the fan art section of the Discord. And with that said, again, I apologize for the low energy of this particular episode. We got a lot to get through, though. Alright, so starting out, so California, or State of California, seems to be suing Activision Blizzard over having a frat boy culture. Now, this seems like it's nothing on the surface when you read the actual, like, you know, when you read this statement. Frat boy culture, why is that a thing to sue over? Let's go ahead and go into the article, and maybe it'll make a little sense. And I've got a lot of articles to go over for this particular subject. So, apologies, we are going to be doing a lot of reading. So, starting with this article, video game giant Activision Blizzard, maker of games including World of Warcraft and Diablo, fosters a frat boy culture in which female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment, unequal pay, and retaliation, according to a lawsuit filed by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. A 2-year investigation by the state agency found that the company discriminated against female employees in terms and conditions of employment, including compensation. Wow, it's almost as if when people say that men and women always get equal pay, they're fucking lying. Assignments, promotions, and terminations. Company leadership consistently failed to take steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. According to the complaint, filed Tuesday in the Los Angeles Superior Court, female employees make up around 20% of the Activision workforce, and they are subjected to a pervasive frat boy workplace culture, including cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through the various cubicles in the office, and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Why? I just have to... Why? I understand work is, like, a pain in the ass, and any amount of solace will help. I used podcasts and audiobooks and YouTube for that when I was, when I was working retail and stuff like that. But just doing, like, a pub crawl in the middle of work, that just feels like a recipe for disaster. So the agency alleges that male employees play video games during the workdays while delegating their responsibilities to the female employees. They engage in sexual banter and joke openly about rape, among other things. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. There are some jokes that are okay in, like, small groups of friends where everybody understands you're joking and that's literally the end of it. But jokes about rape and shit like that, you cannot make those in a workplace environment. You cannot make those in a public environment. It's not difficult to understand that these things are inappropriate in those particular environments. Completely. Female employees allege of being held back in promotions because of the possibility that they might become pregnant, being criticized for leaving to pick up children from daycare, and being kicked out of lactation rooms so male colleagues can use them for meetings, the complaint said. Remember, Activision Blizzard is a ginormous company with multiple offices. It is incredibly easy to find a different fucking room in that office, or just hold an impromptu meeting literally anywhere. Female employees working for the World of Warcraft team noted that male employees and supervisors would hit on them, make derogatory comments and about rape, and otherwise engage in demeaning behaviors, the agency alleges. Calmondo, thank you for the 100 bits. Bible Thump, 100, trigger warning for sexual assault. Oh, yeah, that is a thing we need to get into as well. Content warning going forward, death, sexual assault, and a lot of misogyny. The agency seeks an injunction forcing compliance with workplace protections, as well as unpaid wages, pay adjustments, back pay, and lost wages, and benefits for female employees. So, a spokesperson for Activision Blizzard, in response to that, said that they value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There is no place in our company or industry, or any industry, for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue. But was it? We're going to keep looking. The DFEH includes distorted and, in many cases, false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refuse to inform us on what issues they perceive, the statement continued. The picture the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today, the company said. Okay. So that is what is being said here. There is some more shit that we need to get into where this is concerned, however. So, I thought it was in this particular article. Apparently it is not in this article. But there is an important thing to note throughout all of this. Apparently, there is a worker who ended up committing suicide on a company trip for Activision Blizzard. As soon as I asked my female assistant manager, philosophy could hook up. Okay, yeah, no, just workplace shit is not okay. It's really not. But there's also a story, not particularly in the articles that I have here, apparently. I thought I had it set up, but apparently I do not. But there was also a female worker who went on a company trip and ended up just committing suicide on the company trip. Apparently some shit happened there with one of the male workers, I think a supervisor, and it just led to all kinds of just absolute shit. So, you want the link to the official filing? I mean, if you want to send me the link to the official filing, sure. Though, I believe I have it right here. Like, I believe I actually have the official filing right here. Problem is that the official filing is long, and I do not have the time to go into the entire thing. I do not. We got a limited amount of time and a lot of stuff to go through. If you want to read the official filing for everything here, you have the ability to. Now, moving on. World of Warcraft decides to remove inappropriate references to rebuild trust in wake of this lawsuit. So I'm just going to say this right now. Nothing in the article that we just read cares about what's in the video games themselves. Removing inappropriate references within the video games doesn't do anything to stop the actual, like, workplace problems. It's workplace problems that are being discussed, not this. But apparently, that's not what Blizzard thinks. Blizzard has promised to remove content not appropriate for World of Warcraft, likely in response to in-game references to creative director Alex Afrasiabi. So we're going to check those in-game references real quick. Blizzard harasser from lawsuit is still all over World of Warcraft. Oh, Field Marshal Afrasiabi. Huh. Okay. Yesterday, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, alleging pervasive cultures of sexual harassment and discrimination. The suit alleges the company has a toxic workplace culture that enables and protects abusers. In response, Activision Blizzard issued a statement denying the claims, saying that the state of California included distorted and, in many cases, false descriptions of Blizzard's past. But just how long ago was the past? As the horrific allegations against Activision Blizzard came to light, one portion of the lawsuit stood out as particularly egregious. According to the complaint, Alex Afriasabi, a creative director on World of Warcraft, was allegedly so notorious with his behavior that his office was nicknamed the Crosby Suite, ostensibly a misspelling of Cosby, in reference to alleged rapist Bill Cosby. It reads, during a company event, an annual convention called BlizzCon, Afriasabi, I'm gonna keep on saying this incorrectly, I'm sorry guys, would hit on female employees, telling them he wanted to marry them, attempting to kiss them, and putting his arms around them. This was in plain view of other male employees, including supervisors, who had to intervene and pull him off of female employees. Afriasabi was so known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Crosby Suite, after alleged rapist Bill Cosby. Afriasabi would also call females derogatory names at company events. His conduct was known to Blizzard Entertainment's executives, who took no effective remedial measures. What didn't we read earlier that officially Blizzard looks into these cases and immediately does stuff about them when they happen? Isn't that what we heard earlier? Angelo Arcanus, thank you for redeeming your points for an you inappropriately timed monster. President of Blizzard Entertainment, or J. Allen Brack, president of Blizzard Entertainment, allegedly had multiple conversations about his drinking and that he had been too friendly towards female employees at company events, but gave Afriasabi a slap on the wrist, like a verbal counseling, in response to these incidents. Activision Blizzard's response to the allegation claims the incidents described are not reflective of the company's recent values. Okay, but if the dude's still there, then it is. This is a lot of stuff that we read in that previous bit as well. The second confirmed Afriasabi NPC is Lord Afrasisatraz at Wormrest Temple. Okay. Since the news broke, fans of World of Warcraft are advocating that the references be removed or renamed. There is a precedent for Blizzard removing NPCs that reference problematic people. In 2020, Blizzard removed 2 NPCs named after popular WoW streamer Swifty, shortly after Swifty's former partner accused him of abuse, though the company did not say if the two were related. In Afriasabi's case, the forums feature threads that call Afriasabi a stain on the WoW community, while in-game, a player left a go-away sign in front of one of his NPCs. Okay, so let's continue looking at this bit here. So they promised to remove content that's not appropriate for World of Warcraft. Said the past days have been a time of reflection for the World of Warcraft team. It's been spent in conversation and contemplation, full of sadness, pain, and anger, but also hope and resolve, the statement said. As we heed the brave women who have come forward to share their experiences, we stand committed to taking actions necessary to ensure we are providing an inclusive, welcoming, and safe environment for our team and for players of Azeroth. Afriasabi was named in the suite as a particularly heinous offender of the Activision Blizzard corporate structure. His office was allegedly nicknamed the Crosby Suite. Yep, we already looked through that. So this is all information we've already seen. Okay, so now we've got a bit of a broader picture. Not only do we have sexual harassment in a vague sense, we've also got specific people who are also named in World of Warcraft who have been engaging in this behavior. Ryoko, thank you very much for redeeming your points for... Oh well. So, what is happening now? World of Warcraft players are hosting sit-in protests after these particular allegations. It said if you can't protest in California, try Oribos. The current social hub of Oribos is packed with players, but not due to a new raid or update. Hundreds of players are participating in an in-game protest against Activision Blizzard after a lawsuit filed Tuesday by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. The court documents include allegations of a frat boy culture that subjugated female employees to constant sexual harassment. The protest was organized by Fence Macabre, a role-play guild that runs faction-neutral stories on the Wormrest Accord and Moonguard servers. Just so you guys know, Moonguard is the porn server of WoW. In addition, this group is running a fundraising campaign for the charity Black Girls Code, a non-profit organization dedicated to teaching girls aged 7 to 17 about computer programming and digital technology. So we've got players within the game. If you do not want to just stop playing Blizzard games, but you are in the game, you do have the ability to do these types of sit-in protests. Moving forward, yesterday, at time of recording, Activision Blizzard employees will walk out in support of the harassment lawsuit, with 4 demands from leadership. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this as well. Activision Blizzard employees will stop work on Wednesday in protest of an aberrant and insulting response from company's leadership to a lawsuit that exposes serious allegations of sexism and harassment at the game publisher. The lawsuit, filed July 22nd by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, describes a company culture that allowed for gender-based discrimination and constant sexual harassment. We already know about the 2-year investigation. We already know about all that. An official response from Activision Blizzard said the lawsuit includes distorted and, in many cases, false descriptions of Blizzard's past. But more than 2,600 current and former Activision Blizzard employees have since signed an open letter in support of the lawsuit. Sources told Polygon that includes at least 1,600 current employees and 400 former employees by the last available count. In it, the employees said that they don't trust leadership to hold abusers accountable for their actions, and that the official statements damaged our ongoing quest for equality inside and outside of our industry. Now, employees will walk out of work, both virtually and at the Blizzard campus in California, to protest executive response. So we believe that our values as employees are not being accurately reflected in the words and actions of our leadership. Protest organizers said in a statement sent to Polygon, current employees at Activision Blizzard are demanding that executives improve conditions for employees at the company, especially women, and in particular, women of color and transgender women, non-binary people, and other marginalized groups. They're demanding that leadership end its mandatory arbitration clauses in contracts, create new inclusive hiring and promotion processes, and publish a report regarding salary breakdowns to ensure marginalized groups are fairly compensated, and also to hire a third-party audit of the procedures. You can read the full statement that's here as well. So, an end to mandatory arbitration clauses, the adoption of recruiting and interviewing hiring, basically an overhaul of their hiring and promotion policies so that, women and people of color aren't just fucked in that regard. Publication of data on relative compensation. So I'm just going to say this right now. This is why it's important, if you work at a job with an employer, to talk with the other employees about your compensation. AlbiZ, thank you very much for the follow. But it's important to talk about your compensation, because if you don't talk about your compensation under the idea that it's nobody else's business, well, no, how much money you make is nobody else's business, but how much money a company is paying you relative to other people might be other people's business. Because if you have 3 new hirees with the exact same experience and they're being paid different salaries, the question comes down to why. Sharing your salaries with everybody else allows you to figure out who is getting paid extra, less, etc., and maybe figure out why that is happening. Jam the Bean, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an oh well. And then want to also empower a company-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion task force. Now, so we see here Blizzard employees coming together to try to make things right. AlbiZ, thank you very much for your Bezos bucks. Thank you for the Prime subscription. But speaking of Bezos, what is Blizzard doing in response to their employees coming together and providing a list of demands? This sounds a whole like what people would be doing in a union, right? Right? Oh boy. Oh boy, do we have information for you. Activision Blizzard hires union-busting firm as workers start to come together. Wow. Color me shocked. As soon as employees start to unionize, Blizzard starts trying to figure out a way to stop it from happening. Gee, why would that be happening? Why would that be a thing? Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. Because that's maybe a little important. In a public statement addressed to employees earlier this week, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick said the company was reviewing policies and procedures to help promote a more respectful and inclusive workplace. To help accomplish that, the company has retained the services of prestigious law firm William Hale, which is the same law firm that is helping Amazon keep its workers from unionizing. Considering ongoing efforts to unionize game workers, the partnership is more than a little concerning. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And yeah, no, the reason that I haven't been talking about the Activision Blizzard stuff, and more just reading about it, bit by bit, is because I wanted to see how this was going to come to a head, and this looks like how it's going to come to a head. Like, this was released today. In an industry that is constantly under fire for discriminatory practices, sexual harassment, and grueling crunch conditions, frequent mass layoffs, unionizing is a hot-button issue. As the state of California lawsuit against Activision Blizzard demonstrates, video game companies have a well-earned reputation for creative work environments that are at best uncomfortable and at worst downright hostile. That's exactly why game workers' unionization movement has been gaining traction over the past several years. So, when Activision Blizzard, a company currently under fire for its discriminatory practices and rampant sexual harassment issues, hires Wilmer Hale, a law firm with a reputation for union busting, heads turn and brows furrow. Wilmer Hale is one of the most prestigious law firms in the country. It's actually a combination of two law firms. There's the Boston Hale and Dorr, founded in 1918, known for representing the U.S. Army's pro bono in the Army McCarthy hearings in the 1950s, as well as President Richard Nixon in 1974's United States versus Nixon. What the history? Then there's Wilmer, Cutler, and Pickering, founded in D.C. in 1962. Founding partner Lloyd Cutler served as an advisor to Presidents Jimmy Carter and William Clinton? William Clinton. Nobody says that. And founded the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law in 1963. So that's not as bad. That's not as bad. But my question would be, with Wilmer Hale being the law firm that Blizzard is grabbing for this, would they potentially be trying to do anti-union shit? The video game industry just in general has a hard time unionizing. It was such a grassroots industry to begin with that unions didn't get established in many cases because, you got to think, many of these companies began 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and a lot of them in fucking garages and shit. So many of them grew to a point where nobody thought to get a union set up for any of this shit until, well, we're hitting the point where we know that it's necessary. Wilmer Hale also has a reputation for attracting lawyers with an eye for public service, particularly U.S. government service. Let's see here. It is Gorsuch's association with Amazon, as well as Wilmer Hale's advertised anti-union services that give the firm its union-busting reputation. Earlier this year, Amazon workers in Alabama voted against unionizing, following a company-led campaign that included the lengthy information meetings, spreading anti-union rhetoric, and signs with the slogan, "Do it without dues," suggesting that the proposed union was only interested in taking workers' fees without offering any substantial support. And of course, this is all happening when all the shit is happening with Blizzard right now, with the lawsuit, everything else. So, this is not necessarily... the Mental Minx, thank you very much for the follow. This is not necessarily Blizzard outward, like, just engaging in union busting right now. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Of all the law firms to grab, you just grab this one. I wonder how much of a more pro-worker environment WilmerHale is going to be able to make for Activision Blizzard while engaging in a completely separate situation, helping Amazon try to engage in union busting. Something that's already kind of hard to do when you can't legally union bust anymore. So yeah. Why? So what do you guys think about all this? Because for me, I don't like it. As somebody who's a fan of Diablo, as somebody who's a fan of World of Warcraft, my character is literally based on Thrall. Like, this design is based on Thrall from World of Warcraft. This kind of stuff sucks. Because a company like Blizzard, originally my beef with them was with the Hong Kong protests, where they tried to suspend Blitzchung and all that shit. But now we've got this shit going on as well. This does not ring okay. This does not ring well at all to me. But I want to know what you guys think. I did my best to compile all except the one bit of information that I thought I had ready and at my fingertips for this. So, if you guys have any thoughts about this, let me know in the comment section below when this goes up on YouTube. This is a bit of a doozy of a subject, and more information about this is going to be coming out in the next few days as we figure out exactly what ways in which Wilmer and Hale are going to be attempting to restructure worker relations at Blizzard. Let's hope we can actually get a union at some point over there. That'd be cool, and that would help a lot. But with all that said, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, share it with your friends if you want to, and as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.